Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be doing a bit of an advice video. I want to talk about big life changes and give some tips as to what you should think about before you make like a big decision. So for those of you who don't know, I have a previous degree. I did do uni already. I did sports science, and then a couple years down the line I decided that I wanted to go back to uni and do midwifery. I did make a big life change, and I just feel like there are some things that you need to think about before making such a big decision. Like, this could be going back to school, this could be changing careers completely, this could be, I don't know, any life decision. There's a lot that you need to think about. I thought it'd be helpful to share what I thought about before I made my decision, and maybe that it will help you guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. My first tip is to know your why, and anyone watching this will probably know that this is a really major thing to think about when you're making a big decision. You need to know why you're doing this. Like, what are you seeking? What are you looking for? What are you trying to achieve? What is the purpose behind it? Like, you need to know why you're doing this thing. And that was one of the questions I asked myself. Why did I want to do midwifery? Why did I want to become a midwife? Like, what was I seeking from it? And you can't move forward until you know the answer to that question. That is the first question that you should be asking yourself, because without knowing your why, there's no point in going into it, because it won't last very long. The second tip is to sit with it before talking to anyone or before talking to many people about it. Naturally, I really value other people's opinions. So I usually, before I make a decision, I'm just like, what do you think of this? Should I do this? Should I do this? I ask a lot of people. Well, I used to do that a lot. I used to ask a lot of people before I made a decision. But with this one, I had to sit with it a little bit. I told like maybe one or two people. And the reason I say this is because sometimes we get like light bulb moments, brilliant ideas, or something that you want to change in your life, but it's kind of just on a hype. You're on a hype and it's not really, you haven't sat with it. You haven't really said, oh, actually, is this realistic? Is this like something that I actually want to do? Or am I just feeling it? Or did I just watch a movie and now I just want to become a midwife? Do you get what I'm saying? Be alone with it for a moment before you let other voices in. Once you bring other voices in, it's hard to hear your own, especially if you tell multiple people. They will all give their opinions. Some might not be like the best advice you actually need or what you actually need to hear. So it's better to just sit with it for a moment, maybe a day or two, maybe even a week. Visualize it and see, is this actually what I want to do? After like your emotions have calmed down, after the height of the idea, just sit with it. And if that feels like something you still want to go for, then, you know, seek good counsel. So my third tip is to pray about it. And obviously this is not going to work for everyone, because not everyone is a Christian. Whatever works for you. I chose to talk to God and literally see what the vibe is from God. Like, God, I'm thinking about doing this. Like, what do we think? Let me know. Is this like for me? When I thought about doing midwifery and I hadn't told many people, when I tell you, it was coming up everywhere. Like, I hadn't even released this idea and it was coming up everywhere. It was following me everywhere. And I don't know if that was just because my mind was heightened to it, but I kept asking God, like, what are you doing? Like, is this you? Like, is this you telling me to go for this? Like, yeah, if you are a Christian, definitely pray about it. Like, God wants to be involved in everything, so involve him in your big decisions as well. My fourth tip is to list the pros and cons. When you're doing this, I want you to be honest with yourself. I'll be so straight with you guys. The cons for me was that I'm going from full-time work to part-time work, getting more debt because I have already had a degree. So I had to be honest about the things, like the cons that came with doing this. It's not a way to talk yourself out of it. It's just a way to be honest with yourself and know the implications of your decisions. My fifth tip is to consider how you would feel if you don't go through with this. Just to relate it back to me, I asked myself, like, would I regret this if I don't do it in 5 years, in 10 years? And that question was also asked to me as well. It made me reflect, like, would I regret this? And the answer for me was yes, I would always regret this if I didn't do it. Asking yourself that question, would I regret this? Or how would I feel if I didn't follow through with this in 5 years, in 10 years? Would I always look back and say, oh, I wish I tried? So that for me is one of the major things that made me go for it. So yeah, ask yourself that question. How would you feel if you didn't go through with it in about 5 years, 10 years time? Finally, number 6 is to make a plan. sit down with someone you trust, someone who you really value their advice and opinion, and talk about it. Make a plan. Like, how would this look if you were to take the steps to go forward with this right now? You could make your plan and realize that I'm still going to go for this, but it's not realistic this year. It might happen next year. It might happen the year after. Making a plan just makes it more real, less of an idea or a fantasy and more of a thing that is reachable. That was a really quick video. I hope this was helpful. I just thought it would be nice for you guys to know sort of what I went through in terms of thinking about making this change. And if anyone is out there who is leaning towards making a big career change or a life change, any big decisions, I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments what else you would think about, what else you would advise. Let's share, let's give each other good advice. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We are almost at 400 subscribers, guys. Get me to 400, guys. Get me to 400. That's all from me. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.